At 190 Vision, when work is facilitated, it's always done for the highest good of all involved. So what does that mean, the highest good? Keep watching to find out. A lady contacted us. She learned about us, and actually we got to meet her in person. It's unusual that happens. But anyway.
Well, it was through our son. Her daughter.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So through her daughter was a friend with our son.
Classmate.
Classmate. That's right. They were
Remember,
classmates.
the reason why they became friends is because she had a hard time with math.
Oh,
right?
And he was going to help her with the math.
He was helping her. He was
Got
the
it.
one that, because she was new to the school.
Right.
And when she told us the story, she said that he was the only person that was nice enough to offer to help her because he saw that she was struggling with the math. And so they became friends.
And that's how I met her mom.
Because she started coming here.
Yes.
She started coming here. And she started hanging out with our daughter because they both like art.
Uh-huh.
Is what it
They
was.
do a lot of art projects together.
Exactly.
But anyway, the point of the story is the mom and I were talking, and she was engaged to be married to this gentleman, of course, and they were having some relationship challenges. So, of course, I explained to her about 190 Vision and what we do, and she went and talked to him and requested help. Work was done to help the situation, and we let her know work was done for the highest good of all of you, the kids, him, and you. So whatever takes place, because she was having doubts about staying in the relationship with the challenges that they were having, whatever takes place, you stay the course, just stay there and let things work themselves out. They still continue to have some challenges, a lot of things improved, but it did finally get to a point where they both agreed mutually that it was time to part ways. So he picked up and he left. She received more guidance about what she should be doing and what should take place for her, and she ended up moving to a whole nother state. Things were going great, and then she sent us a message asking for guidance. He wants to get back together. Should we? The guidance for her was no. Don't do it.
Well, no, that's not how guidance works.
Well, to me, when it's 0% beneficial, that's no, don't do it.
Right.
So let me be very clear about that,
right?
because that's my interpretation. If it's a 0%, don't do it.
But it's still up to you. You have
It's
free
up
will.
exactly, and she exercised her free will.
And we have a video about that, by the way, where how to interpret guidance or something like that.
Yes.
Where we talk about the different percentages
Yes.
of benefit.
Mm-hmm.
So they could watch that one. You might want to attach that one here.
Okay. But
So
anyway.
so don't take your opinion.
Yes, don't take my opinion for it. Watch the video. But anyway, so they got back together, and the updates she sent, things were going great for a couple months. And then I didn't hear from her for a while, and all of a sudden she sent me a text message that they broke up again, and she moved again. But they're never getting back together again now.
She didn't ask for guidance on that
She
one.
didn't ask for guidance. We're never ever getting back together. So that is one example of what we're talking about, the highest good of all involved. Things will naturally work themselves out when the Ascended Masters are facilitating what should take place there to help everyone. That's at the greatest benefit for everyone in this situation.
Right, and that's the thing, right? It's not like somebody will get, like someone will be at a disadvantage. Nobody will
Right.
be taken advantage of.
Right.
Now, for someone looking at the situation, they might say, well, that doesn't look, it doesn't seem fair.
Mm-hmm.
But once you understand that whatever is being done is for the highest good of everybody involved, and that's key. Everybody means even people that you might not even be aware of at the time, you know, that are involved in the situation. It may be a
Right.
cousin or an uncle or even a close friend. So it's for everybody involved.
Or even a neighbor.
A neighbor, right? Not just the people that are directly involved.
Right, indeed. So that's one example. I know we had talked about a couple others.
Our daughter, we talked about that one.
Oh yes, our daughter with school. In college, she was having a challenge with a professor who told her, "You're going to fail my class," basically.
No, she didn't tell her she was going to fail. Like I said, guaranteed she wasn't going to pass the class.
Wasn't that failing?
No, what you said, you're going to fail. You said guaranteed. She said,
She did guarantee you're not going to pass the
You're not
class.
going to pass this class.
So our daughter, of course, called us crying. What do I do? How am I going to get through? I need this to be able to finish college. So, of
It's
course.
not this guy for a career.
Well, yes, that goes with also finishing college to.
No.
Propel her career.
Remember what she's doing
Uh-huh.
is based on grades. There's some places, there's some careers you can go to. It's not based on grades. It's based on your degree,
Oh,
right? But for what she does,
it's based on grades?
yes.
Oh.
Remember, she couldn't be accepted into the next level of the medical program if she didn't have A's.
See?
You don't remember? You don't remember?
I don't recall that at all.
No, she
I
had to
don't.
have. She had.
I
her
just
grades-
remember her crying and talking a
No,
lot.
her grades had to be tops because of the medical career that she wanted.
Got it.
And this was the bachelor's level at Case Western that she was in.
Mm-hmm.
But to go on to the next level, she had to have these fantastic grades, otherwise she would not be accepted. And
Well,
that's
there
why
you
she
go.
was crying, because she was like, I can't get a grade like a B or a C, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And it sounded like she didn't have much of a choice, because the professor said, you're failing. No question about it. You're not going to pass my class, guaranteed.
So, because of course my husband is part of 190 Vision here, he
Yay!
facilitated some work, and our daughter ended up getting an A in the class, and things worked out the way they were supposed to. Again, the highest good of everyone involved. Now, I don't know all the details because, you know, when these school things come up, our kids normally talk to dad because mom's the emotional support.
That's right.
So they don't always give me the details of things. They're like, oh, thanks, Mom, for letting me get that out. Can I talk to Dad now?
Right. My wife will go like this, honey. They need a dad moment.
It's daddy time.
Yeah.
So they give all the, you know, details, technicalities, whatever else, all the logic stuff, all to Dad.
After they're not, they're crying with
Yes,
you.
after they've said, I feel like this and I feel like that. I get all the emotional stuff. So I don't always know all these details. That's my point.
Got it.
My
I
husband
thought
has
you
to
knew.
fill them in because he believes that I'm with him at every single moment and I hear every conversation he has with everyone.
But you
It's
do,
hilarious.
you are.
He'll come to me, oh, remember what this one said on the phone? That was one-ended conversation. I heard what you said, but not what they
Yeah,
said.
that's a good one. I always think you hear what I'm saying.
You have the headphone things on. I couldn't hear a word except for what you were saying.
Yeah, you have to remind me about those. That's really funny.
Now, let's get back on topic. So the
Okay,
point
right.
is, though, for the highest good of all involved, I don't know what took place with the teacher, but I know my daughter got an A.
Right.
And she was able to be happy and graduate and move on.
And now she has a
Happy days.
very happy career. So-
Yes. So those are two examples so far of the highest good of all involved. What was another one?
I don't know.
We talked about
named it.
several of them.
Yep. See, that's what happens when you go and plan. Sorry, that's why we don't normally plan these things.
Right?
You know? But for example, let's go back to our son. I know we've brought this example up many times, where he came and said, Dad, you know, remember last year,
This
he was
past
gonna-
school
he was
year.
gonna be at home. Sorry. And the school said, oh, here are your classes. And we're like, not taking those classes, because there were classes that were what we consider just, they weren't going to help him. with
They were
his
just
career.
fillers.
Right.
Just something to fill the time.
And we wanted to make sure that he took classes that meant something.
Right.
So then we asked them, and then they sent a list of all these AP classes. Now he only required 3 more classes to fill his schedule. So, but they sent, I think, 5 or 6 of them. So we went through.
I don't recall.
Oh, okay, no, 5 actually. So it goes back to what you're saying, that you don't know the details.
Right.
He said 5, so he listed all 5. And when I checked on guidance for these classes, he was guided to take all 5 AP classes. I'm like, what? And so I went to him and I told him, I'm supposed to take all 5. And he looked at me and said, okay, if it's guidance, that's what I'll do. Of course, later on we find out that they don't have teachers for these classes.
Right,
Remember that?
right. Our son couldn't turn to anyone to have some of his work graded. I mean, it was just all through the online course, but there were supposed to be essays and things that were supposed to be graded by a teacher, and the school's like, for 3 of the classes, there are no teachers.
Right,
There's no way for this work to be graded. And we're like,
he kept asking, Dad, why is my grade not changing? Why aren't these being checked?
right.
So 3 months went by, and we finally said, get in touch with the school and find out what's going on. And they said, well, actually, we don't have any teachers, so they won't be graded.
But he's supposed to get an A in the class.
And not only that, but then he has to prepare for the AP exam. And that's when I said, you know what? And by that time, there were only 3 months left
Right.
before the exams. And he had all this work he had to do that wasn't complete, and he didn't know if the other ones are correct because nobody checked them.
And with these online courses, you have to get high grades on all the quizzes and tests because that's all it's counting. They can't count the homework part because there's no one there to grade it.
Right, that's true.
So
Exactly.
he had to do all this extra work to make sure he got A's on everything.
But it wasn't even, see, I wasn't
High
concerned
grades.
about that part. It was about being prepared for the AP exam. How do
Right.
you properly prepare when
For 5
you're
exams.
behind? And he was behind. He had only done about 50% of the work
Mm-hmm.
in each of these classes. Actually, somewhere less, like 30-something%, because he thought he had to wait for them to grade. They won't let you go forward if someone doesn't grade the things. So it wasn't until we talked to the teachers, they went and they clicked on them. Now he could do the other work.
Right. They had
But
to
he
do
had
things
3
for him
months.
to be able to advance.
Right, but he only had 3 months now to take the exams. 5 AP exams. So I went to him, I said, listen, if you don't want to take all these 5 exams, we could just cut it down to 3.
No, that was the human side. That was
Right.
not guidance.
No, it's not guidance. Right, I didn't check with guidance on that.
That was my husband
that
being
was a
the
concerned dad.
concerned father.
yeah, 3 months, 5 AP exams. The closest you are is 50% complete.
In one
There's
class.
no way he can complete this, right? There's no way, in my mind. And he looked at me and he said, Dad, I was guided to take all 5, so I'll take all 5. I looked at him and said, are you sure? He said, yes. So that's when I went to the altar that night and said, oh, okay, I'm more here. I said, Jermaine, how is this going to work? And of course, I spent most of the night because they kept showing me things that we're supposed to implement, things we should do. He woke up in the morning, I told him what we're going to do, how we're going to attack this thing, right? He started applying the different techniques that the trainees know about. And he passed all 5,
Yes.
you know, in 3 months. You know, so talk about for the highest good, everybody. And then, of course, the school looks good.
The school looks good. All of a sudden, the teachers were like, "Whoa, you know, we're noticing
How do
this
you do
kid,
that?
and
Right.
he's, you know, our son is just a natural leader as well. He's always trying to help others and guide people. So it helped everyone.
Yeah, everybody, exactly.
It really did.
But even though I received the initial guidance, and that's the point I want to make with this one, that even though I received the initial guidance, he should take all 5 AP exams, because of what was in front of me, you know, 3 months, the closest it is 50% in 2 classes, I think like AP biology and some other one, 50%, the other
Oh,
ones
I
were
thought it
like
was only one class.
30%, no, it was, then,
Okay.
then the other ones he's behind on by, the most he had covered is like 30%. In my mind, there's no way he can get it done, even though guidance was, do them all. So even for me, as a person receiving information, I got skeptical, is the point.
Right.
So if you receive guidance and you're skeptical, you feel skeptical about it, know that it is normal, because myself, I was skeptical about that one, because it just seemed almost improbable to me. Yet still, because it was guidance, it worked out. So it's always for the highest good of everybody, as in, don't pay attention to what's going on around you. You know, it's just, these things come there as little challenges. Just know that because you receive that guidance, it's going to work out. It will be fine. And that's the way it goes. Now, there are some guidance because it's based on free will. For example, we have an individual that's about to buy a house, and it was 100% beneficial for her to buy that house,
Right.
but there's some challenges there with the sellers. Well, you can't control what the seller does.
Right, indeed.
And so in a case like that, you have to respect their free will. Make sense? Don't force it. You know, if somebody's exercising his or her free will, you don't force it despite the guidance that you got, because that means there's something else for you. You went through that experience for a reason.
Indeed.
And it might not be, for example, in this case, to get the house. It might be to go through the experience to learn some things, to prepare you for other things that are coming up.
Yes, indeed. That's a really good point, that even though you receive guidance, don't try to push to make that guidance happen. If all of a sudden challenges start coming up, ask for more guidance. All right, don't just try and push through, because if you push through, all of a sudden you find out, oh, you're just supposed to go through part of that for the experience. Like our daughter with job interviews, she was guided 100% for these different job interviews, but she wasn't getting the jobs, and she's like, why is this? And it was because you needed to have these.
Our second
eldest daughter.
Okay.
Yes. Sorry, we have 7 kids. I'll try and keep you up with this. But anyway, she was going through the job interviews, and she was told, no, you had to go through those interviews in order to be able to be prepared for other ones. And she finally went through another one. She's like, oh, I get it now. It all came to light for her. And she's like, I see why I had to do all those, why they were 100% beneficial for me, because now I've got this job. And it was a great position for her.
All the questions they asked were from the other ones.
From the previous interviews.
Exactly.
And she's like, oh, I'm ready for it now. So it was really good. It worked out well. We've even had individuals who've had court situations where they're in a court case, and they're just beside themselves. They don't know how this is going to work out. They've got all these, plaintiffs in line and everything. They're like, how is this going to work out? And of course, work is done, for the highest good of everyone involved.
Okay, work is facilitated.
It's facilitated. It's not done. Work is facilitated. We don't do it. You send a master's. We ask, because this individual is requesting your help. Please facilitate whatever is in the highest good for everyone involved in this court case to take place, to happen. And with one lady, it was something with, was it restraining orders or something?
Right. She's the one that was going through a divorce with her husband, and her husband had the kids. The kids were worried to her husband because they said that she had anger issues and other things, personal challenges that she had.
Okay.
So the kids were worried to the husband. And she wanted to see her kids, and he's like, no, because of all these challenges she had. So she decided to go to the house anyway.
So then there was this, court order against her. She wouldn't be able to see the kids at all, restraining, all this other stuff. But as it turned out, the entire case was dropped. And she was just shocked. Of course, she had started working with 190 Vision and started implementing the tools that were being given to her and everything. So when all of it took place, of course she was shocked, but very happy, and things have been fine since then.
And that benefited everybody.
Everyone. The kids, the ex-husband, everybody, yes.
That's right. So the bottom line is that when you do get guidance, you should remember that it's for the highest good of everybody.
Not just you.
Exactly. What that means is not just you, is that what you might expect as the resolution might not be the resolution.
Indeed.
That doesn't mean that the resolution wasn't correct. It just means that that was the best resolution that would benefit everybody.
Correct.
Not just you, the one individual.
And if you get to that point where it didn't work out the way you thought it would, maybe it's time to take a step back, watch our video on perspective, and see it in a different light.
Okay.
You have anything else to add, hon?
No.
All right, then we shall see you all in the next video. Remember to subscribe and like this video. Join the Facebook group 190 Vision to connect with others on the same journey. Get help by visiting our website 190vision.com. Support the 190 Vision mission by clicking on the donate button, which is at the bottom of each page of our website.